Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite intersections. It's inspired by some intersections that some people have shared with me, found in the UK, Bristol, the Bristol Bear Pit. It's basically an Ovalabout. Let's dive in. Alrighty, for this I have mods listed down below in the description, but for a really quick run, Road Anarchy, which is going to let us do crazy things. Like that. Definitely be using the Move It mod. What we won't go over is I won't go over how to detail it. I want to get you making the structure, especially if you're new to the game. Let's make the structure first, then let's worry about detailing it after. Once you get the basics down for the structure, detailing is just how much detail and how much time you want to put into it. Alrighty, so we're going to start simple. We're just going to use a 2-lane road. I'm using precision engineering. It is not necessary to give you that measurement, but if you follow what the game wants to give you, that circle is 5 units. If you go one past it, that's 6. We're gonna do 6 and 6. Great. Then grab your straight road section. Give it, I don't know, however long you really think it needs to be. If you've got a highway going through this, maybe it needs to be a little longer. If you are joining maybe 4 different directions, it could go a little shorter. We're gonna do 12. Perfect. I know, this is crazy, right? But that's not an oval. There we go. So I ran these in here because last time we discussed how to keep your round traffic circle round and a little less egg-about-ish. Although egg-abouts are it's actually how they are sometimes, is really an egg-about. Sometimes we like to be perfect and we want traffic circles. So in this case, maybe we do run a highway above it, or below it, or somewhere around it. You can run the highway above this, but I'll show you how this really actually comes into to play. We're gonna dip the highway underneath. So we're just gonna run this. Probably actually delete that. We're gonna go under our oval. Now with the Move It tool, you could change that. You can make it line up better. Oops. Whoops, don't do that. That's not what you want to do. What did I do? Anything? There we go. Cool. Okay, so we needed that because we're gonna use this as a discussion on what we're doing. This is where you need your move it tool. If you're very, very picky, you would move one of these and if you're equally picky, you double check the other side. So like, it looks pretty good. The other thing you want to do with your move it tool is grab your marquee selection. Actually, don't. It's probably just quick to do this. I'm holding down shift as I click these buttons. I want to keep all of this, so that way when I move this, I can move this around like so. If you do something like this, you either shorten your approach and get them into the circle quicker, or you elongate the approach and it takes longer to get into the circle. But either way, you're still short on one side and long on the other. But the idea is that if you have a busy intersection leading to a city, you might need to have the longer approach coming off of your highway and then your shorter approach going onto it. That way you don't back up your highway and you let the traffic continue on. In this case, this is where we actually start to use road anarchy a lot more, because we're doing some tomfoolery. You could introduce this turn getting them into that. I would still suggest going into your city, you keep it 2 lanes. This is where you would definitely enter. You'd have some turn. Maybe you just keep it straight for the moment. Because this is where it gets really tricky. You need network extensions or handle it with 2 lanes. But road anarchy, Control B turns bending off. So we're using Find Road Anarchy. Now I don't necessarily need this bit, but what we do need is we need that bit. And to give our traffic the option because we still need to take this off of here into the highway. Maybe something like this. And like so. Bend it. So it's a lot smoother. Could shift this slightly. But this is the tricky part. You need to give this traffic the option to turn right or to go forward. And you might need this option a lot further back. So we could double this. You know, traffic continues this way or sneaks around. And then I thought is that we could also do this. Maybe if we do this. Maybe my asymmetrical. And of course, with either Traffic Manager or default game, with the updates, just take that stoplight out. Could maybe pull this. One like that. I mean, it could be interesting. This could work. Because this lane would continue obviously in there. This lane would continue here. So it would exit and be uninterrupted on the right turn. So as they exit. And you could flip this if you're doing left-hand drive or right-hand drive. Left-hand drive or right-hand drive, just flip it the other way. Of course, in this case, they would be entering, so it would be a much different. In that case, this would be an almost perfect. Like, I'm just gonna get on the highway. But the main thing is that we've kept these roads here to keep it in its shape. I don't know, maybe just for the looks, this gets upgraded to that. And now we're competing with different. So as they exit, they make the choice right or circle. And everybody coming off the highway straight onto there or there, and makes your life easier. So just for completion's sake, you know, I'm not going to worry too much about this too much at the moment. Of course, detail. Maybe you'd make their decision a lot further back. So the cars make a decision here, left or right, and they perform that decision here. Of course, you could pretty this up. You could put a statue here, concrete it if you want. If you want the sidewalks around everything, network extensions, just upgrade this piece. Yeah, upgrade that other piece. Let's see how far it gets us. Right? There. Now you at least have concrete. So you can make a concrete median. You could also, you know, a little fountain, trees, whatnot. Then the only slow part there is this piece, which you do want them to slow down before they get into this, so they're not suddenly stopping to then get to whatever the speed limit is. And then with Traffic Manager Present Edition, obviously you could change the speed limit. It is 40. We're coming in from 100 to 40 and 30 in this case. So maybe what this should be is it should be 60. Maybe do 80. So it gradually slows down 80 to 60. Because this is 50. Keep keep this at 50. Now because I have all these connections, each one of these is gonna have to be done. But then at 50, it's half of the freeway, right? So they slow down to about 10 above, and then 50 in the circle. And of course, by the time they get down to here, they should be 100. Use this to accelerate. So if we look at traffic, it would be nice to build this to have traffic in it. I don't have an example right now in any of my current builds to show you with it filled with traffic. But I do have one. I do sort of have one, but it doesn't have a lot of traffic at the moment. So move it, we'll let you do this. We can kind of place it. And then something like this. Which is good, right? So if you plan it, look, that looks so much better than that. Take this and boop, but we need to go this way. Something like that. Then again, we got to remove this guy. I just like to do it in traffic president. It's a little easier. Of course, stripe it. Stripe it, do any detailing that you want. But we can get rid of this. So we have this exit. Obviously you could tell where we left room and where we didn't. They'll still work the same. They're just not, symmetrical if you really are bothered by it. What we could do is do this. Boop. Give it a little bit more space. And then the last secret is just adjusting this to your liking. Maybe do something like that, and then carry on your day. I would advise you to give yourself a little bit of a stretch. Then maybe go up to your 6th lane. And then with this, maybe you have a cross street. This way this has a use for all 3 lanes, as opposed to suddenly you are down 1 lane. Because if these 3 lanes have a use, then you should get traffic using all 3 lanes. Like this particular lane only turns right. As opposed to, if we didn't have this, I'm not using that middle lane. So this gives the AI a reason to use this lane. And, with the right asymmetrical roads, you can make every lane still have a purpose. But the way this works is you've reduced it down to 2 lanes. Follow through the 2 lanes. They either get on the circle. If they're getting on the highway, they should be using this particular lane. If they're going to the other side of the city, they should be using this lane. So for illustrative purposes, we'll do this. These guys only go here, and these guys have to maintain this lane. Right? So these guys come in, they only go here. Go further. That's married to that. That is married to that. And if we maintain lane usage here, and we just enforce it all the way through, because traffic only changes at nodes, right? They only lane change at nodes. Obviously that one can only go there. We're making traffic make their decision which lane to use up here, back here. And we can maybe enforce it, and we can say, okay, you can only make your decision to go this way here. And then obviously if we have another node, we can then do the reverse, where this middle lane can cross into the left lane or cross into the right lane a little further down, so you kind of spread out the crisscross of traffic. And then it should give you a nice smooth flow all the way through. But it's not truly necessary to do all of that stuff. It's only if you're really particular about how the traffic behaves, you could do that. But because we've given an exit point from this 3 lanes, oh, lol. Yeah, don't do what I did. There. Left or forward, forward or right. Maintaining all the way through. And then they make their decision. Alrighty. There's an Ovalabout with a highway. Think about an Ovalabout with just surface streets. Think about elevating it. Think about digging a hole in the middle and putting a pond. Or, better yet, sunken train stations. Or a metro that you have access to on the bottom level, where people are walking between them, like the Bear Pit in Bristol. Until next time, my name is Azili. Thanks for watching. Happy building. Hopefully this helps. Catch me live 5 days a week, typically over there on the Twitches. Typically 5 days a week. Typically. Monday through Friday, playing cities or a variety of other games. Have a great one.